Hey, welcome back to the Blazor Puzzle. I'm Carl Franklin from AppVNext, and that's my friend Jeff Fritz from Microsoft. Hey, Jeff, what's happening?
How do, Carl? Let me tell you something. You're lucky that you got me now because I just got down from the lamppost outside. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I've been climbing lampposts all week.
Yeah, congratulations, man. The town's going nuts.
Oh my gosh, the town's going nuts. Right when your hometown wins a sports championship in something, anything, football, American football, what have you. Yeah. Oh man, everybody's all of a sudden happy in town, and for some reason in Philadelphia we like to climb lampposts.
I don't know. We don't do that up here in Connecticut. That's I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into this week's puzzle because guess what? The Key Vault door is locked, man. All right, so it's a Blazor web app, global server, interactivity, right? I've added a couple things to appsettings.json, a section called My Personal Settings, and two properties under that. Favorite color, blue, favorite number, 7. All right, no big deal.
Isn't that a die? Blue number 7?
Those were arbitrary. I just picked them.
All right.
I have a favorite color string, a favorite number int in uninitialized. I pull those out of the configuration. The section, my personal settings, favorite color is section favorite color, favorite number.
Sure.
Is section favorite number. Okay?
It's right there in app settings.
It's right there in app settings. So we're going to move this to Key Vault, but I just wanted to show you we can keep the same code, right? The whole idea of Key Vault is you replace the settings with something that's online, and then you don't have to keep them in your app settings.
All those security strings and API keys and passwords.
Exactly. And I found that just a lot of developers and Blazor developers just don't know about this and are kind of afraid to tackle it. So we're going to do it for you.
Okay.
But we're starting with this. Your favorite color is blue and your favorite number is 7. All right. So now we're going to go to Key Vault.
All right.
And I have created a Puzzle 66 Key Vault right here. I'm not going to belabor the idea, the process of creating it. It's very easy to create. You follow the documentation. It's literally click, 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 boom, right? So the first step before I can add anything to this is I have to give myself permission to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the way you do it is this is my app that I've published, Puzzle 66, right? And this is the settings identity page. And before we can do anything, we have to enable system assigned managed identity. So the status is off right now. And there's tons of ways that you can do identity to identify yourself to Azure, but this is the easiest way to manage. Do you want to say something else about that?
So the idea that you're hinting at, that you're showing here, is we're getting into more and more of a passwordless configuration when we get into our cloud services.
Yeah. And
being able to pass along the idea of the principal that's running this app surface, this website, and use that as an authenticated user that's going to be able to read and interact with Key Vault is a very cool thing.
Yep. Cool. All right. So I'm going to click Save now and enable system assigned managed identity. And what's going to happen is it's going to give us this key. But this is something that we can use to give our app access to the Key Vault. So this is my object, my principal ID, and I'm just going to copy that off somewhere, and we're good to go. And now I can go over to my Key Vault, and I'm going to click on Access Control, IAM, and I'm going to add a role assignment. See that right there? Add role assignment. And this is a list of roles that are built in. And I'm going to search for Key Vault Administrator right there. I'll hit next. Now I'm going to assign access to a user and select members. And all my members that are in here, and they're blurred out for a reason. I'm going to search for Carl Franklin. That's me. There I am. And I'll select. Good. Now, myself, Carl Franklin, well, as soon as I hit review and assign, has access to administer the Key Vault. Now I can do some more things. Now I want to give access to the Key Vault to the object, my Puzzle 66 app, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to search for Key Vault secrets user. There I am. This is going to be a managed identity, and we'll do a select. So we're assigning to an app service, and then we'll search for Blazor Puzzle, or Puzzle 66, actually is what it's called. There it is.
All right.
Now, another thing I have to do is give myself access, not only as an administrator, but a Key Vault secrets user, so I can actually get the data in my application, right? So let's just do it again. We'll add a role assignment. And this will be Key Vault secrets user. There I am. Give access to myself again. Okay, now I'm at the point where I actually have the ability to add settings to the Key Vault.
Yep.
So let's go to Objects, Secrets, and these are name value pairs. So I'm going to click Generate or Import. Here's the name of the first one, My Personal Settings -- favorite color. My Personal Settings is the first level, and because of the -- that says under My Personal Settings, there's a favorite color. Secret's going to be blue. Everything else is fine. I'll go to Create, and we'll add the other one. My Personal Settings favorite number 7. Okay. So now let's go to our project, and we have to add a couple of packages, and I've already installed them here. So the first one is Azure Identity, and then Azure Security Key Vault Secrets. You can do that through however you get your NuGet packages. I've already got them in here, so we didn't have to go through that. Now the next thing is Program CS. This is the code that I need. So I'm adding appsettings.json.
We're rebuilding the default configuration that ships with ASP.NET. We're adding extra places for it to look for configuration information.
Okay. So then we're loading the Azure Key Vault. I have the URI, puzzle66 keyvault.vault.azure.net. And then for the credential, I'm using default Azure credential.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that when you're logged into Visual Studio with your Microsoft account, if that's also your Azure account, then that's going to be your default credential.
And importantly, when you deploy to production, what you just set up for that app service website, the default credential of the managed identity you just connected there, it'll use that to connect.
Right. So this is a one-size-fits-all, one-stop shop for that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm manually fetching the secrets from the Key Vault. I create a new secret client with the URI and the credential. And then I create a dictionary of secrets by getting the secrets from the client. So check it out. You have My Personal Settings : favorite color is the key, and then the value is My Personal Settings -- favorite color, which we've put up there in the Key Vault, right? And the same thing for favorite number. So I've created that dictionary, And then get this, builder.configuration, add in-memory collection, that list of that dictionary of secrets. And that's it. So then the idea is anytime we go for configuration and it's not in appsettings.json, and just to prove that, I'm going to remove this.
Yeah.
If it's not in appsettings.json, oh, by the way, everything that is in appsettings.json doesn't go away. We've talked about configuration and how it works on multiple levels, but it will be combined with these values from the Key Vault, right? So you could still ask for the logging and allowed hosts and whatever else you want to leave in here. The idea behind Key Vault isn't that you want to move everything to the cloud, just the secrets. All right, so if all this looks good, we should be able to run this in Visual Studio and get those values, blue and 7. So let's see what happens here. All right, so it turns out that it worked when we ran this the first time. And the reason it worked is because we're recording this and setting this all up in an Azure VM. So of course, my default credentials are there. But when I did this at home, this is the error that I got. Azure Identity Credential Unavailable Exception. Default Azure credential failed to receive a token. And what that means is that, hey, we don't know who you are. Your identity, the default identity, default credentials didn't clear me. So stay tuned for the solution. The answer is to log in to Azure. And Jeff, I thought by logging into Visual Studio with my Microsoft credentials, that would have been enough.
It's not quite everything there, right? We still need to get logged in and authenticated, just like we were using the Azure command line tools, whether it's AZ to go and configure your Azure resources, or the AZD command line so that you can deploy as a developer resources out there. But you need this last little piece here, signed in and connected.
All right, so we have to install the Azure CLI in order to do this. Now, I actually don't have it here, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to install on Windows just with a Microsoft installer. You can use whatever you want for that. All right, so once that's installed, I drop to a command line and you can type AZ login. And I'm already logged in, but when you do that and go back and run your application, it's going to work just fine. All right, so there you go. Favorite color blue, favorite number 7. There's nothing in app settings. We're logged into Azure, so that means we can use it in Visual Studio. And now we could go back into that Key Vault and change the color, change the number, whatever it is, and it will update. Now, Jeff, you gave me a link to a document that has a sort of a shortcut method for doing this, right? So if you say builder configuration add Azure Key Vault, here's the URI with the default Azure credential. It's just a different way, a shorter way to do that. So there you go, Jeff. I think this was a valuable, if not just a demo on how to use Key Vault, also a sort of a gotcha for people who like to use Visual Studio and code and debug at home.
Key Vault's going to be something that you're going to see more and more being used and deployed throughout various applications and demos in our community, because we want to start to secure things and make it a little bit easier to hide all of those passwords and things. And user secrets is a great way to keep some of those API keys and passwords stored and safe locally. But Key Vault lets you centralize it so that nobody really sees these values that are going to be shared and used across your applications.
Yeah, and in source control, that's a big one, right? How many of us for years have been putting our passwords in appsettings.json and checking into source control? And that's no bueno.
No.
All right, well, go Eagles, and We'll see you next time. And by the way, if you have a puzzle for us to solve or just to show something that you came across, send us an email, blazorpuzzle@appvnext.com, and we'll be glad to check it out. If we use it, we'll send you a mug and a t-shirt. Okay. We'll see you next week, guys.
Take care.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazortrain.com and the .NETshow.com for more great content.